Okay, guys, I'm going to talk about a topic that is old as time itself. Why modern games suck. Why modern games suck. Modern games has been in a steep decline. We all know this. The gaming industry is really bad. The problems of modern gaming is endless. Here we go. Modern gaming problem all started with the dreaded golden horse that was overpriced. Then came things like microtransactions, loot boxes, battle passes, subscriptions, everything you could imagine that has been its gaming's downfall has all come from this dreaded horse armor. Games nowadays are too expensive. I can tell you that right now. We don't get much value on gaming anymore. We are lucky enough to even get one game nowadays. Budgets are on games are just getting way too high and way too long because of graphics, too much in the world, greed, and just hellish developments that go on way too long. These games suck. Corporations always has the say-so before the developer. And this sucks. Not only for the consumer, but also the developers themselves. There is too many corporations that's trying to follow trends instead of letting us having fun. And that's one thing that gaming has really struggled. Instead of having a fun experience, it feels like torture. And it's really saturated the gaming industry. Instead of having fun, you're always paying for something, nickel and dimed. And oh boy, I am only getting started. The cost of consoles is getting insane. I remember back in the day when I had a console, it would be full price and it would get discounts. We'll even be lucky if we get a discount on Black Friday because they will not lower the price of these consoles, and they're even going up. These parts of consoles has always been accessible. Now it's very difficult and overpriced. And with all these things going on in the world, gaming is becoming more and more and more expensive. And what's also dragging it down is graphics. Graphics are not the most important thing. It is not the most important thing. Gameplay, story, and all that stuff matters more than graphics. And oh boy, this is only the beginning. I mean, there is so many cases of so many development cycles going through hell, and it's because of publishers and corporations. And we're to the situation where these corporations have the final say-so no matter what. We are bending the knees to these corporations, and this needs to stop. We need to make sure these corporations don't have the final say-so. The developers need creative freedom and control. And it's only making us suffer because of it. And another issue is that all these developers get fired even when they give it their all because of corporations, leadership, and hellish development. And another issue, these big corporations, whether it's Sony, Xbox, and Nintendo, because of these three corporations, we're always worried that they're going to shut down. And basically, all of our games will not exist anymore. And this has become a big problem in the gaming industry. I myself I am really worried that I'm going to lose all my Xbox games if my Xbox and Microsoft shuts down. And then there's the issue of server problems, like servers going out or the internet going out, or God forbid there's an outage on the console and you can't even access it. That's a whole new can of worms of itself. There is just so many issues with the gaming industry. And not only that, but you also have to download all this content on your disc. I remember a time when you only had to put the disc in and that was it. Now everything you gotta download. And these games keep on getting bigger and bigger and longer. I mean, issues that happen with open worlds is that it gets so overwhelming with content that it gets to the point where it gets so overwhelming and doesn't become fun anymore. It just becomes a chore. I played Sonic Frontiers. I enjoyed it first, but near the end, I wasn't having fun. It just felt long and repetitive. It was also very overwhelming that my brain just couldn't handle it. And by the end, there was a bug that completely stonewalled the gameplay. So for like months, I played this game and I can never return. All that hard work that I built up, gone. Then there's the issue of bugs and trying to fix the game over time. There's the issue of over promising and under delivering. A game will be buggy, broken, or non-functional at launch. And this is a big problem in the gaming industry, especially with these modern consoles. As soon as the modern consoles come out, they rely on the internet. And this could devastate developers that put all this hard work into it, just gone because corporate mandates ask you to release this game at a certain time. And then there's the problem with always going live service and following trends. Live service has completely killed the gaming industry. Instead of making it fun, it's made it tedious and boring. All the ideas is either trend related or live service. And Sony, Xbox, probably not Nintendo, but Sony especially has this problem. Xbox somewhat. This live service is definitely a problem in the gaming industry. And then there's the problem with budgets. Budgets are going too high, graphics are going too high, and it's making where all the developers get fired. Leadership makes them go through a hellish development. And then there's the issue of cheaters. I mean, there is so many problems with cheaters. It makes a game unplayable and makes the problem for the developers just such a monumental task. I mean, there's classic games they can't even play anymore because of hackers and cheaters. They have ruined games so much that basically they make the game unplayable. Not only in multiplayer, but also ruining the campaign also. And then there's the issue of always online. You can't play these games offline. You always have to sign into your Xbox or PlayStation. Maybe Nintendo, I'm not sure about that, but and then there's the issue of companies mandating sign-ins to their own games, and it makes it impossible to remember all these passwords to these different game franchises to different companies. And I am only scratching the surface. These modern games are failing. Whether it's mobile, AAA, and indies are the ones that are making the most money in accessibility. And then there's issues of making a game tedious and basically instead of making a game fun, it makes it torture. And then there's the issue of cash grabs. There's always cash grabs. Nowadays, there's so many cash grabs because of these big corporations. Instead of just making a good game, they make a cash grab. And then there's just so many issues. And then there's the issue of the ASRB. There's so many games that always have to pander to certain audiences that makes it impossible for game developers to go in a single direction. It's like these corporations are mandating these games for kids when these games should be M for mature. Halo was a corporate was a major hit when it came to Halo. And now they're starting to pander kids to Call of Duty. I mean, it's happened like since Modern Warfare 2019. They don't care about the gamers anymore. They only care about kids. And that's the biggest tragedy when it comes to modern games. They always focus on games. They always focus on the Fortnite, Battle Royale, looters, shooters. That's gotten so saturated that I don't even like to talk about it. And just so many trend chasing and microtransactions that only make the gaming industry worse. I mean, these open worlds get so bloated with content that makes it overwhelming and just impossible to get into anymore. There is just so much to talk about. These games suck nowadays. I know, it sucks. But if we keep on going in this direction, if we keep allowing this happen, it will get worse and the gaming industry will die. Obviously, things are being expensive because of the war overseas and stuff. And definitely a lot of people are paying more money for stuff, but we can't keep going in this direction. There's gotta be a change of course that someday, or else these companies are just gonna die off. Game developers are gonna all lose their jobs. And then there's the issue of AI taking over development studios. That is a whole new can of worms of itself. AI taking over game development. Instead of that human aspects, it's full on AI. And it's seriously a detrimental between developers and fans. In some ways, creativity is dying in the gaming industry. Not only that, but the movie and music, basically every industry is affected by this. No matter where you go, everything just sucks nowadays. And obviously, we need to go back to our roots. We need to go back towards a time where not only this was the golden age of gaming, but also have the future where we have a nice and safe future. There is obviously so much going on in the world. You know, even even there's the issue of preservation with these games, and it's becoming harder and harder to preserve these games because of war, climate change, politics, basically everything. Just basically people taking away your physical media, trying to switch to all digital, and just take away everything that you own, basically. Everything is in danger this generation, and we have to do something about it. Obviously, this is going to be such a monumental task that it's going to take a miracle just to get all this done. But we seriously need to have some kind of law or something so these corporations cannot just keep on getting away with this stuff. It needs to stop. These big corporations don't care. The developers are doing all the hard work and just get either fired or get shoved aside because of corporations, and we have had enough. I don't know when the gaming industry will be good again, but it's up to us. If we keep on buying these games, we're the problem. If we keep on buying these microtransactions, we're the problem. If we just stand up and fight for what's right and just buy quality games instead of these trash games, we can definitely make a change. Like I said, it's no easy task. I mean, Xbox, Sony, or Nintendo could shut down at any moment, and we could lose so many games. I mean, the classic gaming industry is already dying. Well, it's booming, but these physical games are just running out. And then there's the issue of always online that will completely shut down the servers and make your disc useless. And then there's the issue of if a game shuts down, you lose all your digital purchases. And then there's the issue of if you have a digital game, they can just take it away if the license runs out or if the game shuts down. Basically, digital games are just renting it. You're not buying it. There is just too many problems with the gaming industry. And it all started from the golden horse microtransaction. And that was only a test. If we keep on letting corporations, let them be greedy, let them get away with it, fire people, switch people to AI, if we don't do something soon, there will be a game crash and the gaming industry will die. And that's why we need to do something about the gaming industry.